Hi, I'm Aspasia. I'm 18. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm white. I love photography. I love nature photography and sports photography. And I love sports in general. I've always grown up around sports, so I love playing sports and watching sports.
Hi, I'm Grace. I'm 17. I use she, her pronouns. I'm white. I'm Jewish. I love hanging out with family, friends. I love going to Rams games, Dodgers games, and yeah.
Okay, so I think the first emotion I think of and feel when I talk about social media or I'm on social media is stress and kind of an overwhelming feeling. I think most people, it's a lot. Like looking at what other people are doing and just, seeing everything. It's a lot to digest and also a lot to take on and like trying not to compare yourself. So I think social media can be really stressful.
Yeah, I
and
agree. I
overwhelming.
actually wrote this.
Yes.
Really overwhelming. You're always comparing yourself to people and seeing what other people are doing. Yeah.
So about our friendship, I think the first time we really got close was, I don't know, maybe around 10 years old. And when I moved here in 7th grade, Grace and I think, went to a family beach day or something. And I just vividly remember us like playing in the ocean, playing in the waves and just talking, and we instantly connected. And I think it's just really great to have her as my best friend because we connect on so many different levels and we have so many of the same hobbies. And we're really just a great support for each other. So I think just building off of that immediate connection that we had those few days at the beach and when I visited here, I think that was really special, like the start of our friendship.
Yeah. And so we would do Thanksgivings together. And we connected when we were about 10, and then we've just been best
inseparable
friends ever since.
So Grace is a very empathetic and caring person, and I think what I love most about her is just how genuine she is, and she just has such a big heart. And I think sometimes that's honestly hard to find in people, and just knowing someone who has such a caring nature is really special. I just love being around her.
Yeah, I love Aspasia because we trust each other so much. We tell each other everything. She's always there for me. And I love her.
So I think the platforms Grace and I use the most to interact with each other are Snapchat, Instagram,
TikTok.
TikTok, Pinterest for sure, and messages on a daily basis. And I think it was just kind of natural for us to start texting. But, as we grew up, we started following each other on Instagram. And then Snapchat was a big thing. So we use that a lot. And TikTok is now huge. And that's just become a really fun place for us to interact. So I think those are the main ones.
We like Snapchat because we could send each other photos of what we're doing.
On our days.
Yeah.
So I think a typical interaction on Snapchat for us would look like me in the morning on the way to school, sending her a photo of me in the car or me with my coffee, being like, oh, I'm so dreading this history test or something. It's just going to be a picture of me or a picture of her and what we're doing and, what we're looking forward to in the day. Just kind of catching up.
Yeah, even at school, we'll just send each other photos of anything.
It could be someone else. It could be, I don't know, an activity, what we're eating, food, something. But we love using Bitmojis too and Snapchat. I think that's really fun, and filters. So Pinterest, I think, is something I personally really love because I feel like I'm a very creative person and I love just different aesthetics and different nature-y things and artsy things. And so I think it's really fun to create mood boards. And I think that we have kind of a dream of traveling a lot. And so Pinterest is a really fun place to look at when we're like, oh, what's a fun trip or vacation we can start planning for even really far into the future that we have no idea about.
Even outfit inspiration or anything.
Just super fun things. If we're going to a concert and we're like, oh, what's a great concert outfit? That kind of thing. And so we love creating boards for each other and boards with each other. I just think it's really creative. It's kind of arts and crafts digitally.
Pinterest board would look so for Aspasia's 18th birthday, she turned 18 about 2 weeks ago. We went on a vacation together and we had the inspirations of photos that we
for outfits and for different photos that we thought were fun and creative. And we also wanted to create kind of a scrapbook of us and up until 18. So we were looking at different styles of what that would look like and just different ways that we could be creative about me turning 18 because it's kind of like a big thing for us. So yeah, that was one of the boards we had. I think we also have one for concerts.
Yeah.
So we're really looking forward to Stagecoach. We love country music and Coachella.
Yeah.
And we love The Weeknd. So that was a concert.
Yeah, we went to Post Malone too.
We compiled a bunch of different outfits for those and just different mood boards, different vibes.
Like activities to do, or like when we like after college, I think we want to travel like the world together.
Pretty much. So we have a whole vacation board too. So a typical 24-hour day for me on media, I think would be me first waking up, trying not to check my phone because it's a bad habit for me, but I always do. So I would go on my phone and normally have a text from her or something from her saying, Grace tagged you in this, or Grace sent you this on Instagram maybe.
Yeah.
And so I'll go through Instagram and I'll go through text and just catch up with people, check my emails, maybe just say like, hey, if something happened the day before, like Grace was saying, she needed to study for a math test or something, I'd be like, good luck on the math test, you know? So we would communicate in the morning, and then I would get ready for school, have a nice school day, and we'd be texting each other throughout the day, I think, and also on Snapchat and sending each other pictures. And I think there's definitely a lot of things at school that maybe bother us, so we'd be communicating about that the entire day. And then a lot of the time I will pick her up from school.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a time where we get to actually catch up in person. And I think that's really important because you can only really go so far by texting each other and communicating on social media platforms. So it's really important for us to be with each other face to face and actually express feelings and, you know, see how each other are actually doing, because I can tell if she's upset and she can tell if I'm upset. So I think that's kind of how a day would look like.
It's definitely a difference.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much our day.
In a typical 24-hour day of mine, it's pretty much like Aspasia's, but something I do is I follow like KTLA on Instagram, and so I send Aspasia all the time, like news going on.
News updates, everything.
All the time.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's crazy.
And then usually just check Snapchat, Instagram, emails, everything. At school, I try not to be on my phone that much, but I kind of am. And I'll like make phone calls, send Aspasia Snapchats, like news.
She'll be up
after school. Usually, I'm like doing something, like for example, tennis with Aspasia, or watching my brother play golf. So I'll be taking like photos of like my brother, funny photos of Aspasia and I playing like tennis or something. And then like at nighttime when I'm about to go to bed, I'm not really on my phone that much. But yeah.
Yeah, I think deep conversations are conversations about just personal or private moments in our lives, or something that's happening that's really important to us. Those we'll have in person for sure.
Yeah.
But just little things like catching up with each other on a daily basis, and just kind of more superficial things we'll text about. But I think we've known that it makes a bigger impact on each other when we talk about things in person that are like, really important.
Yeah, we'll like text each other reminders of like, oh my god, Aspasia, I have to tell you what happened at school today.
Totally, but then we'll wait until we're in person to actually talk about those things. So I think just very kind of funny, silly, lighthearted interactions on social media are more us. We don't really like to, you know, get into that on social media. We like to do that in person.
This is my phone.
So I'm gonna be looking at Grace's Instagram profile and, you know, giving my observations and thoughts. So looking at her profile, it's very organized, and it's nice to look at. It's aesthetically pleasing. It seems like she has a lot of photos with one person, and a lot of photos by herself. And it also looks like she loves going on different trips. There's a lot of vacation pictures. Oh, there's a sports game. Yeah, just a lot of different. Seems like she values friendship a lot, and she hangs out with one person a lot. There's a birthday picture. Oh, she's so pretty. For her highlights, she's a Rams fan, Dodgers fan, USC basketball, lots of different trips, lots of pictures and skiing. Yeah, so I think the vibe of Grace's page is very lighthearted and it's very soft. You know, it's very relaxed. And a lot of it is at the beach or on a vacation or with a friend or going to a sports game. And it's all, you know, kind of the same color scheme, I'd say. It's very neutral, but also like a few pops of color. I don't know. I think it's very organized.
Okay, I'm gonna be scrolling on my Instagram and Aspasia's gonna be narrating it.
So I'm gonna be observing what she's doing. So she's kind of going through her feed. Looks like there's news updates. She's kind of quickly going through people's stories. And it looks like she's liking someone's story. Liking sports pictures, breaking news. Going to the NFL Network, scrolling through that and looking at new updates. Just kind of really quickly scrolling through everything. Scrolling. Oh, she just liked Colorado Boulder. I think Grace is just a huge football fan, so I think she has a lot of those accounts on her feed, for sure. I think a lot of it is, I don't have a lot of news accounts, so she sends me a lot of the news. So I think my page is a little bit less like, oh, breaking news, you know, it's a lot of friends' profiles. Okay, so this is my phone, and I'm handing it over to Grace. She's gonna describe my Instagram profile. Here you go.
Okay, so Aspasia, she loves going out. I think all of her photos are like in nature and on vacations. So she has a birthday post. She has a post at a concert, 2 posts with me. She has a prom post. She has 3 highlights, 1 with friends, 1's of photos with her, and 1's of nature. She has a really like calm vibe to her, aesthetic, very beautiful and elegant vibe. And in her bio, it says LA and then her high school she goes to, and yeah.
So now I'm gonna be scrolling on Instagram and going through her messages, and Grace is gonna narrate my different behaviors.
Okay. So she's scrolling through her stories, going on a jewelry account, and looking at a necklace, and she liked a necklace and saved it. She's probably gonna buy it later. Now she's going through her text messages and scrolling through her tennis group chat. She just liked one of the messages. Now she's going in her calendar and looking what she has for her schedule tomorrow. And now her Outlook, deleting emails. And now in her Snapchat, looking at Snap stories to see what everyone's up to. Responding to snaps, opening them. And scrolling more. Now on Instagram again. Now switching to a different account, her photography account. Now she's back on her main account.
So I think something that brings me joy online is mainly on TikTok. I think watching funny videos and seeing funny things. I love watching like funny animal videos and anything that makes me laugh. So TikTok videos, I'm scrolling, I'll be like, oh, it's hilarious, and I'll send that to Grace. But I think it's really fun to find, I don't know, memes and funny posts. And,
there's also on TikTok a lot of like relatable videos.
So many relatable videos.
Yeah, especially to our friendship.
And for teens, for sure.
Yeah.
And we're like, that's completely us. That totally resonates with our friendship.
Something that brings me frustration online would be seeing what other people are doing and like comparing yourself and
It can be kind of hard to compare yourself sometimes when maybe someone's on this extravagant, luxurious trip and you're like, oh, I wish I wasn't here what I'm doing right now and I wish I was doing something like that. So I guess that can be frustrating. I also think it can be frustrating to see maybe something disturbing like on the news. It's frustrating to see what's going on in the world sometimes. So I think anything that has to do with reality and what we're actually facing in the world, those things are very frustrating because there's such a mix of really deep issues that are going on in the world. So I think something that gives me excitement online is seeing maybe my favorite artist drop an album that I love. Yeah. So I love Brent Faiyaz, and he just dropped a new single. So I think it's really fun to see maybe people that I admire, people that I follow, coming out with new music or coming out with a new project or something. So I think those different types of news.
Yeah, I agree.
Really
like when we saw the Stagecoach lineup, I texted Aspasia right away. I sent it to her, and then we're
so
excited.
Just new events and new things that we get to check out and try are really exciting.
Yeah.
Connection, I think honestly posts, for example, on Instagram that maybe say, I don't know, tag your best friend or tag someone that's made your day. And then when I actually send that to Grace or I find a video about that, that makes me think of her, and that's a way that we feel connected. So I think posts that let you think of a different friend or like a loved one and share that with them is a way that we can connect in a way that illustrates connection.
Or like giveaways for stores.
Yeah, just anything,
tag someone.
Anything that's sweet that has to do with some sort of friendship or relationship.
Something that gives me a feeling of connection would be giveaways for stores when we see in our feed, like tag your best friend for a free top.
Yeah.
And then I tag Aspasia, she tags me.
Yeah. So one of our favorite stores is Aritzia, and we also love
Princess Polly,
and they're having a lot of different giveaways. So just, new posts that we see, we're like, oh, I totally have to share this with her. I need her to see this so we can hopefully win. I don't know. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So something that gives me a feeling of isolation online, I think definitely going back to the seeing people share different things that they're doing, maybe going on a trip or being with a lot of family.
Yeah.
So if I'm alone physically and I'm, working really hard on something or doing something for school, and then someone posts a huge family photo, oh, what an amazing family vacation we're having. We're like, oh, I really wish all of my family was in town. I wish I was with my family.
I would also say birthday parties and people hanging out. If you're not invited, there's always photos people are posting, and it just makes people feel left out. Yeah,
totally. So I think with social media, it's really hard again when you're not face to face with someone, because words can only mean so much and they can be interpreted in so many different ways. So I don't know, sometimes if I'm texting you and I'm like, hey, I don't know, I wish you were coming, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And Grace is feeling something that I don't know about. And then she texts back, well, sorry. I may take that as, oh, she's upset with me, Yeah. And so different things can be taken in so many different ways. So I think, again, what I'm saying about having a friendship where you can be in person and online and knowing how to connect with each other and express feelings the right way, so disagreements don't happen too much and they don't get taken the wrong way. But I think it's very common for people to have misunderstandings online, and I'm sure a lot of people have gone through similar things.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
On film and TV, I don't see myself being represented. I don't see any characters that have the same interests as me and have the same aspirations as me. And so that can be hard sometimes, but I just have to remember, it's film and TV. It's not all completely real and it's written. So, that can be hard, but I definitely wish there were more people that depicted genuine relationships and genuine friendships. Yeah. Just when I see a show come out about teenagers and about friendships, a lot of the time it's very dramatic and it's a lot about teen drama. And I think a lot of that is missing the aspects of those friendships that they show, actually interacting with each other in a genuine way and in a deep way, and not just, talking or fighting about boys or fighting about what they're looking like or worrying about some social event, It's always it's kind of the same thing. It's all social, it's all superficial, and I wish that there was more just more representation of people who find value in deeper things.
I agree. There's a lot of movies with high school drama and looking a certain way, and it makes you go down on yourself thinking you're not
You're not good enough. Right. Yeah. And so I guess media can just be really hard because, again, it is being written by someone. And that's why I think it's important to, share your story and share your perspective, because then people can start writing about that. So friendship I would like to see on a TV show or in a movie, I think would be one where they are mutually supporting each other in something, maybe going through a hardship or overcoming some sort of obstacle in their lives. And they're really kind of depicting what a friendship where there's a lot of mutual support looks like, and just a friendship that's very vulnerable, I think. I think that would be nice to see in a TV show, rather than a friendship that's kind of very, let's go to parties, let's do this, let's do that. Something that's deeper and something that's more important.
With like two people depending on each other and sticking up for each other.
Yeah, going on an adventure.
Instead of putting them down.
Yeah, it's fun to watch TV shows that have, siblings or friends or two people, like a pair of people who go on an adventure, go on a trip, or go through something, and they're, like working with each other and collaborating. So on film and TV and in social media, I see a lot of different archetypes and different tropes of relationships and friendships of teens. I guess if you're talking about a relationship, there could be like a nerdy girl and like a jock, whatever. That's kind of the biggest one. But in friendships, sometimes it's like the popular girl and the shy girl that are friends. And so there are a lot of just very drastic differences between those friendships. And I think what I'd like to see and what I think needs to be shown more is a friendship where they kind of have a mutual personalities and mutual like character traits.
Yeah, and a lot of the time it's girls fighting to see like which one's better.
Totally. It's a lot of competitiveness and it's a lot of drama. So I think another perception I see of teens in social media and on TV shows and in movies is, I think those kinds of TV shows and movies are mainly written by adults, and I think what's missing from that is an actual teen experience and a teen perspective. And so I think, I don't know. I think we talked about this a lot too, of adults kind of misinterpreting teens and writing about so many different like random fantasies and different dramas, but they're really not, they don't reflect reality. Personally, at my school, followers on Instagram and different social media platforms don't necessarily equal popularity. And I think that those stereotypes that you need followers and you need a lot of people that admire you or that, follow you on Instagram, that you need that to be popular. And I don't think that's very true in the community that I'm in. I think that people just see that, it's just a number. It doesn't really mean anything, but I do know that for other people, maybe that does mean, I have more friends than you, I matter more, I'm cooler than you, or I'm more popular than you. So I think that is definitely something that people believe. But for me, I know that that's not the case, and I know that my friends think the same, so it's not really something I'm concerned about.
Yeah, I actually feel the opposite. I feel like followers do play a big role, like especially in my school, like if this group of kids like sees this popular girl walking by, like everyone like freaks out because she has like 1,000 followers. So I feel like it does play a big role. Right,
and they can see that person as, like, they're so cool, and they see them walking, and they're like, oh my gosh, I need to follow her. Oh, she has a lot of followers.
Yeah, like she's so pretty.
Right.
Like some parental controls that I have is my phone shuts off like every night at 11:30. Just so I could get like a good night's sleep and not worry about like who's texting me and stuff. And my parents do track me on Find My Friends. I feel like it's good because if my phone didn't shut off, I would probably be on it for way too long and start like overthinking, stressing. What about you?
Does it make you upset though, like when your parents track you, or
no,
if they're turning off your phone, you're like, I really wanted to text someone, or I really wanted to do something?
I feel like it's good.
It's a good thing. So personally for me, I don't have like screen time controls, and my mom doesn't control too much of like how I use my phone and how much I use my phone, but I do have Life 360, and I actually think it's important just in this day and age when there's just a lot of different risks and a lot of dangers for teens and young people. And so I actually do like it when my mom has my location and when I see her location.
Yeah, we have
so
our location share.
I think parental controls that both the child and the parent understand and value and agree with are beneficial. But I think sometimes there can be really restrictive parental controls where a strict parent will kind of control too much of their kid's life and too much of their kids' experiences on social media, and that can be more harmful than beneficial. But I think for us, we have a good balance with, we agree with our parents on the different controls they have. So some negative stories that I've heard of teens on social media have been either a girl posting something where it becomes a scandal. I've actually seen that a lot before, and it can be completely taken the wrong way or shared with a bunch of people, and then it becomes this huge thing. And so, you really have to be careful about what you post. Yeah. So I've heard a lot of horror stories about people posting things and then trusting someone, and then it turns into this huge scandal. And so that's kind of one big thing that is definitely a risk. And
a big thing is like cyberbullying and like fat shaming people.
Right. If they post something and they're feeling confident, but then someone else is like, oh, you know what? You look awful.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of cyberbullying.
Yeah. Especially like you can make fake accounts and put like comments from like a fake account onto somebody's account and just put them down.
So there's a lot of negative people on social media. And so there's definitely a huge negative aspect on those platforms, but I do think that there is a very positive impact of things like Instagram and TikTok, and just being able to have this space to spread awareness about issues that you're passionate about and having a voice. And I think a lot of teens in our generation know that that's a place where we can share things going on in the world, like wildfires and poverty and climate change and those types of things. So I think the negative aspects also balance out with the positive aspects.
Yeah, I would say so.
I think Instagram and different social media platforms have good protection and privacy settings. So I do feel protected in some ways on those platforms, where if someone is being harmful or harassing someone else, there are different tools like being able to block that person or report them. So I think those different companies have gotten a lot better at restricting and surveying those areas so people aren't going into those like awful situations anymore. But there is definitely still a risk of bullying and just people being rude on social media because there's a lot of that.
Definitely reporting comments helps.
Yeah, having those tools like the report button and the block button and mute button or the restrict button. I've used that a lot before. So something that I want writers to know about teens is that we're all people and we all have feelings and unique experiences, and we all have values and we all have beliefs, and we all matter, and we all have self-worth. And I think that's something writers and adults should know, is that teens should be put in a level playing field with adults and with older people. They shouldn't be, demeaned or put down for being younger, or thinking, oh, this is a younger person, so they don't know what they're talking about, or they're not smart enough to do this, or they're not smart enough to have these aspirations or to do these things. And so I think it's really important for writers to really think about, what do teens really want? What is a teen experience really like? And why is that more significant than what it's been shown to be?
I agree, yeah.